In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn back. Honorable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have commenced a series of linguistics. In linguistics, we have covered so many chapters. Recently, we have started the chapter and it is about syntax. As I told you, that syntax is the study of the structure of the sentence, that how a sentence is structured. After that, I shared with you about the syntactic structure of the noun phrase, the syntactic structure of verb phrase, the syntactic structure of prepositional phrase, the syntactic structure of adverbial phrase, and also the syntactic structure of adjective phrase. And I told you that these phrases, they are also having their own habits. And if you remember, I also draw the tree diagrams for each of them. Listeners and audience, today, syntactically, we are going to talk about grammatical roles, subject and object. You will learn in this lecture that what are grammatical roles and what is the structure of the sentence in English language. Connected to this, you will know the main difference between predicate and predicator. Furthermore, we will further explain that what are auxiliary verbs and modal verbs and what is the relationship between auxiliary verb and modal verb and what role do they play with the main verb. And at the end, I will also provide some examples with negation, that what is negation and what is the tree diagram of negation in syntax. Listeners and audience, let's come to first of all the structure of the sentence in English. When we are talking about the structure of a sentence in English language, basically we have two things in the sentence, two components of a sentence we have, that is NP and VP. So it is the structure of the sentence. What does it mean? It means that a sentence, there must be NP, which is noun phrase, and VP, which is verb phrase. So these are the two components of the sentence, two parts of the sentence in English language. Now, remember that when we say noun phrase, we are talking about the subject. And when we say verb phrase, we are talking about the predicate. So that's why the question arises that what is the main difference between predicate and predicator? I'm writing a sentence. If I say, he works, consider that is noun phrase NP. Okay? And when we say verse, that is what? That is predicator. When we have noun phrase, so a noun phrase is a predicate, while just when we have one noun, then that is called predicator. Let me write it clearly. He is reading. He is reading. So here it is a noun phrase. It is auxiliary verb and that is main verb. So here we call it what? Predicate. So a complete verb phrase is called predicate. But if you see just main verb or just a single word in a sentence, then that is called predicator. Generally, we say that there are two parts in a sentence: noun phrase and verb phrase, or we say subject and predicate. And generally, we also define predicate that in predicate we have a verb, and whatever words are coming along with the verb, they are the part of the predicate. However, when we are going to talk about specifically about predicate and predicator, so a singular verb which is just main verb and there is no helping word or auxiliary verb, so then we call that verb that it is what? It is predicated. But if there is auxiliary word or modal verb in a sentence, then we call it that it is predicate. Okay. So hope that this concept is also clear to you. Coming back to the main point, that what is the structure of English sentence? As I told you that in English sentence we have NP, which means noun phrase, and we also have VP, which means verb phrase. Now, the question arises that what is meant by grammatical rules? According to grammatical rules mean verb phrase is preceded by noun phrase, and verb phrase can also be followed by noun phrase. What does it mean? I'm repeating. Whenever a verb phrase is preceded by a noun phrase, and sometimes it can be followed by a noun phrase, so this process is called what? This process is called grammatical rules. For example, let me write this sentence that it can be clear. A verb phrase is preceded by a noun phrase and it means verb phrase, and it can be followed by the noun phrase or a noun phrase. Okay, I'm repeating this as well. A verb phrase is preceded by a noun phrase, and it can be followed by the noun phrase. What does it mean? It means that before the verb phrase there must be subject. When we say a verb phrase is preceded by a noun phrase, it means that there must be subject before the verb phrase. And when we said it can be followed by the noun phrase, it means that sometime there can be a noun phrase which we call object after the verb phrase. For example, I'm writing one example. Aslam has been completing his work. Okay, listeners and audience, you see now, Aslam is NP, noun phrase. Has been, that is auxiliary verb, and completing, that is main verb, and his work, that is NP. So completely we said that this is verb phrase. Has been completing, that is VP, verb phrase. So now when I say that verb phrase is preceded by a noun phrase, Aslam, this is noun phrase, NP, and it can be followed by what? A noun phrase. So that is NP. So now you see, this is NP, his work. Okay, so what is this? This is NP. Another question. But if there is another NP after the NP, it means it is called second object. So now a verb phrase is followed by NP. This NP is called subject. A verb phrase is preceded by a noun phrase. So this noun phrase is called subject, and a verb phrase is followed by what? NP. So this NP, that is called object. So this process, it is called what? It is called grammatical rules in syntax. Okay. Okay, listeners and audience, now I'm coming to talk about auxiliary verbs and modal verbs. You know, previously I shared the topic about open class and closed class in detail. That open class is a class in which new words can be added and invented or coined, while closed class is a class in which new words cannot be coined or invented, in which new words cannot be added. So here, if you're talking about verb, so verb belongs to open class. However, there are some types of verb like auxiliary verbs and modal verbs. They do not belong to open class. Though they are the types of verbs, but they belong to closed class. No one can invent a new auxiliary verb or new modal verb. So this is very important point. So that's why combinedly we call them subclass. We call them auxiliary verb and modal verb. We call them closed class and subclass. Now, what is the function of auxiliary verb and modal verb in a sentence or with the main verb? As I told you before as well, that auxiliary verb and modal verb, both of them, they are preceded by the main verb, or they are coming before the main verb. And there is just one interesting example I'm sharing with you, where you will find both helping verb as well as a modal verb, because auxiliary verb is also called helping verb. So you will find auxiliary verb as well and modal verb as well. For example, I might have been reading the book. Okay, listeners and audience, first of all, let me draw the tree diagram. Let me draw the tree diagram of it, that you know it. So, see, in sentence we have S, which means sentence. So, then we have NP, NP means noun phrase, and then we have VP, which means verb phrase. So, we have NP, this is I. So, this is N. And we have verb phrase only, and this is might have been reading the book. It is verb phrase. So let me divide it in portions. Might we have, it is modal verb, so we are writing just only mod. And then we have, which is auxiliary verb, we are writing only AUX. And then we also have been, that is also auxiliary verb. And then we have reading, that is man verb, so we are writing verb only. If you want to not be in difficulty and complexity, you may write V with it. V mod, when you V modal verb, V auxiliary verb, and then V. V is already written there. Okay. Then we have NP. So we are taking NP from this. NP. So in NP we have article, that is or, and then we have N, which is the verb. So this is called the structure, a sentence with modal and auxiliary verbs. The last point I'm going to talk about negation. Now, what would be the structure of negation? Another point, it's very interesting, and I'm very happy that I reminded it right now. And this is what? Auxiliary verbs and modal verbs. There are only 3 verbs. I'm coming to negation, but first of all, let me talk about the point. We are having only 3 auxiliary verbs which function both is a main verb and auxiliary verb. How? This is important for MCQs as well. Like, we have 3 of them. This is, for example, have, This is, for example, be, and this is do. How have function is a what? Is auxiliary verb. For example, I have been reading. Okay. So here, have is functioning is auxiliary verb, but how it function is a main verb. I have a book. Listeners and audience, here you don't see another main verb. So that's why the function of this have is what? The function of this have is what? Main verb. Instead of have, if you are talking about has, so has is also its form. You may say he has a book. So that's why it's also functioning is a main verb or is a helping verb. And let me talk about do. For example, I do it. So here, do is what? Here, do is functioning is a main verb. But if you want to use it like I do not call you. So here, do not call. So here, it's working is a or helping is a helping verb. Now coming to the negations, listeners and audience, when we are talking about the negations, so by negations we means does not or do not or particularly just not only. So what will be the role of it? What will be the syntactic structure of it? The syntactic structure of it would be that the negation or not, mostly it is after the auxiliary verb. It is followed by the auxiliary verb. For example, I am not living. I am not living. So here you see we have what? Like NP, and we have auxiliary verb, and then we have negation. That is not, as I told you, that it is coming after the auxiliary verb, and that is main verb, which is living. So let me draw the structure. We have S, that is sentence structure. We have NP, and then VP. NP, that is I, and we have am, that is auxiliary verb. Okay. And we have not, that is negation, so we are writing only neg, N is in egg. And after that we have what? We have living, that is verb. So this is the structure of what? Negation or complete tree diagram. So hope that this topic is clear to you. Again, I will request to my listeners and audience, if you're new for my channel and yet you have not subscribed my channel, you are requested to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.